Welcome back to She Prints Africa, empowered by Printing SA and Impulse Radio Africa. Today, I'm joined by Phyllis Kwatsikor, all the way from Ghana. I'm so excited because this episode will explore the intersection of fashion, packaging, and women-led innovation within Africa's creative industries. Now, Phyllis, thank you so much for joining me. Please tell me a little bit about yourself, your past. How has it groomed you so that you can be the woman that you are today?
Okay, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Phyllis from Ghana, and I'm currently residing in the capital, that is Accra. So, Phyllis is a young lady who migrated from one of the remoted areas, a precise in Volta region. So, I moved from my town, a small village, down to the city to strive for life. And along the line, I chose so many paths like beauty and skincare. And also, I tried so much to go into engineering. But along the line, I tried to feel it by looking back to my dad, who was once in the fashion and print industry for 30 years. So looking back, I realized fashion is something that has been part of me, but I tried to hide it. I tried to cover it. I tried to, go it is. But I decided to come out boldly to practice fashion. And currently, I can say fashion, the fashion industry is one of the creative industry in the world. And to be precise, we are extremely doing well. And I can say fashion is from Africa.
Amazing. Fashion is from Africa indeed, because we see different types of print being recreated in other areas, and every single fabric is actually from here. I'm so happy you spoke about your roots and how your father inspired you to be within the fashion industry. I want to get more into the technical parts of things. How difficult or how easy is it to get your fabrics and get the specific print that you want on your fabric?
Okay, so looking back to history, I can say that over the decades, there are some logos or there are some prints that has been handed down to us by our great grandparents. They're just playing around it, just messing with it. And I can say, let's take for example, like the forest. When you see the forest, what comes to mind? Nature, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, and there are some trees in the forest that have its own meaning, its own herbal benefits to the society. And at, at the same time, the shape of the leaves on each tree tells you a story. You understand? For instance, the migration of the airways from Noche in Togo to present day Ghana, there is a saying that the footprints you see on each fabric is due to their migration because they were under a wicked king called Agokoli who enslaved them and used them for everything, excuse my language, everything, shitty. And they decided to run away and they would have to walk backwards so that the king will not be able to trace their footprints. So there are fabrics that I personally order here in Ghana by the local producers or by the local print producers, where they put that particular it's for me to tell the story of how my great grandfathers migrated. But when you send it to China, it's very difficult for them to print because they don't understand the history behind the footprint. But
That
here
is
in
so
Africa, it's
inspirational.
easy. It's easy to produce because some people understand the reason behind the print and how unique it is to the Ghanaian society and the areas at large.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that lesson and the importance of fabric being more than just fabric. It's a journey. It's a storytelling tool that you are using that cannot be copied in other factories, in other countries, but it is unique to your region and it's unique to your culture. So, thank you so much for that. And how has that storytelling and the way you make things uplifted your area?
Okay, thank you. What I can say is when it comes to my area of fashion, I can say boldly that everything about my world is about storytelling and it makes me other fashion other fashion houses. But another thing is before introducing the fabrics, it's kind of like stressful to me in a way because I would have everybody to understand my culture, to understand the history, to understand the message I'm trying to send across. Do you get it? But I can say so far so good. It has really, really very um successful in that area. And then when it comes to preserving cultural heritage, I can say that um the motive is I try to preserve our culture through how do I say it? By creating identity.
Yes.
By creating identity, meaning I am an African, true African. By spirit, by birth, by language, everything, I am an African. Successful in that area because I lift it above my head when it comes to cultural heritage and preservation in my area of fashion.
Thank you. I'm so proud that you actually say that I am an African with pride. So, what I wanted to understand, you touched on identity and you using your fabric to first for visual identity and as well as storytelling. Now, when we get into the technical part of things and we say, okay, because you're telling your story, how is it that you're giving back to your community?
Okay, when it comes to giving back to my community, I can see that I came from a place where the town is actually underprivileged, and I look out to my dad, who once told me, "Whatever nature gives you, know that the society played a major role in what nature gives you. It can be an idea, it can be anything. What I want you to know is it's the community that gave you." So I I try my best to empower the local artisans who are into the print industry to use natural dyes from nature instead of the synthetic dyes because we can add natural dyes from our environment and it's less expensive and it's not toxic, but it's something that they can use and can rely on for years to come because it has been practiced over the decades by our great grandparents. So another thing is I try to inspire the young ones to follow their dreams, and those who are in the area of fashion, I try to encourage them by storytelling, telling them about fashion is about you, it's about your identity. You don't copy people. Fashion is about what you eat, the way you carry yourself, what you wear. So I try to motivate them to embrace themselves as Africans and also journey into the land of the Western to bring out what our great grandfathers handed over to us. And another thing is I do showcasing community beauty where we do perform shows because some of the queens are being named after some particular dance in our community. And I bring out this kind of fabrics and I make sure they participate through the dance and the storytelling and also like a fair. You invite all the young ones to listen to the story and also to display the fabric. And another thing is I try as much as possible to set up training centers in my community where I get to train the upcoming young men and women who don't have the opportunity to enroll themselves in the university or senior high school by giving them the opportunity to learn for free. Yes. So I can say so far so good. I'm still on that journey to give more than I am doing now.
Oh, amazing. I love the fact that you touched on sustainability. You touched on giving back to the youth in terms of skills development and free training. That is more than I know what any government can do. But you are the epitome of African excellence. So now, if you can just break down for me that sustainability part, you said that back then they were using sustainable practices. How do you ensure that sustainability is practiced in your area? And how are you teaching sustainability in print?
Thank you so much for your question. So in my area of community, mostly we use kente. I hope you know kente. Whereby these days you will see that a lot involved, or to be precise, the Asians, the Chinese are trying to um, reinvent kente by printing the patterns inside poly fabric form to ship to Africa for our people to buy. But one thing I keep telling our people is everything that we do here in Africa, we do it because one, we are black. Two, we the climate. We have to support the climate. So I always encourage them to go back to the weaving area where we use the loop, the thread to make our own fabric, and mostly these loops are cotton from here. We get some from the banana pack, the 3/8 of the pack. Most of my fabrics are from that particular fiber, which is very exclusive to me and it's special for me. So I encourage snap printing where I send them to the farms or the plantation where I teach them what to do with the parts and how can be for generations to meet instead of depending on this Chinese or the Western world to, send anything toxic to them for them to use in printing. Do you get that? And when it comes to to touch on sustainability again, we use now dyes from nature. Like there's a plant called, in my language we call it adege. Adege is a plant that is very green in nature. And when you squeeze the leaf, you can see that the juice can stay in your clothes for more than a year.
Wow.
So I encourage them to use such plants to dye their wools or the fabrics they weave. And another thing is beetroot. Beetroot. So we get the beetroot and hibiscus flower, which is abundant here in Africa and Ghana to be precise. And we boil it to a certain temperature where we extract all the color out of it. And we use that for our maroon color, which is the maroon dye. And also we use charcoal. We use charcoal, and with the charcoal, there is a particular plant that can sustain the concentration, the color of the charcoal, make it extremely dark. That no matter how you wash your clothes, that charcoal will remain in that fabric for years.
Wow.
And then when it comes to design and longevity, I can boldly say that we as Africans, we create prints that tell a story, and it makes our prints timeless.
In your view, what are the biggest barriers women creatives face when they are trying to enter or scale in the print related industries, whether it be fashion, branding, packaging, or media?
I'll start by saying women actually take fear as a garment from, I don't know how to say it. I don't know if it's from nature that women are when it comes to gender, but I kind of think like they are trying to wear it as a garment when it comes to the print industry or an industry where they think they cannot fit into the space, and because they find it very competitive. And I kind of like think it's not the best, because it's kind of like they have a lot of fear, limited access to resources, stereotyping, and self-doubt. They are always doubting themselves. They don't know if they can do it, because before, such industry was male dominated. You understand? So they have self-doubt and they have limited presentations.
Mm. Okay, definitely understood that.
And what I can say is, for them to overcome such fear or all the above I mentioned, I will advise that they should seek support. Like they should seek support through and then mentorship. I can say my father was my mentor, because I was privileged to have him to be part of the print industry over some years now. And others don't have that opportunity, but they cannot sit back and watch it happen. They need to seek for mentorship. They need to network with other people in the area of printing, and also they need to also leverage online platforms. They should make good use of online platforms. They should think out of the box, and also they should develop strong business skills and planning. And also, they should be able to celebrate success with the little they've made. They should be able to celebrate and stop comparison. That is the only way they can break through in the print and fashion industry.
Have you heard about the Woman in Print 2025, as well as the whole series, actually?
Oh yes, so a friend actually who was a but traveled to your country, actually told me about it. And he was like, these people are good. And then this agenda is a good one when it comes to women in print. And he knows so well that I'm very much about fashion. I'm very much about print. I'm very much about anything African print. So he told me about it, and I was like, why not? I'll be happy to be on this same pace and journey because I am on the path of telling my story as an African girl child and uh, an African woman who embraces a culture and would want to exhibit it to the whole world.
Amazing. So would you want an event like this in Ghana?
Why not? Yes, I will be very happy to welcome this event to Ghana because I can say it is a platform where I would get to send my generation, the 21st century generation, back to what spirit means to the typical African woman or a Ghanaian.
Now, there you have it. Africa has an appetite for women in print series, and Africa has so much to offer in terms of the print industry and growing economies. Thank you, Phyllis, once again for joining us. Print is not just on paper. Print is not just on fabric. It's about power. It's about heritage. It's about identity. And African women are leading the narrative. Join us as we write, redesign, and reimagine Africa, one print at a time.